Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Andrew McCain. Thank you for tuning into this video. I've been wanting to make a video about my thoughts on the new forthcoming Montage, or what we now know as a Montage, but it was originally supposed to be on whatever keyboard that Yamaha was going to come out with as their flagship coming up soon. But I tried and I kept having issues with the recording and stuff like that. But over this past weekend, I believe just yesterday, there was some leaked photos of what the possible Montage, I believe 8X, is going to look like. And it sparked a whole lot of discussion on what people thought was coming with the new Montage. So I think now is the perfect time for me to share my thoughts, all right? So I leading up to, or right following when they made their first announcement that they were discontinuing the Montage, I know on Facebook, I personally saw a lot of people like, oh my goodness, why would they do that? Like, what's going on? But, and I probably would have reacted that way if I didn't kind of follow this type of thing. But it's following the same trend as other companies, like specifically Korg, when they discontinued their Chronos. And this was maybe a year or so ago. And the idea is that once they do that, it's to show you that something new and seemingly better is coming. So far, I haven't seen something that was bigger or better than the Chronos Beat replace the Chronos. They actually have been using the Nautilus, Korg Nautilus, as their main keyboard. And from all accounts, it's not quite the beast that the Chronos was. But I'm assuming they probably have something coming down the line that's supposed to be their new flagship. But Yamaha, when they discontinued the Montage has actually been out since 2016. So that's 7 years now. I remember when it first came out, how I couldn't find it in any Guitar Center until I went to Manhattan. That's when I was finally able to try it out. And, I was in love from the first time I played it. And I remember initially, like within the gospel musician community, a lot of people were kind of apprehensive about it. They're like, well, this is not like the motif. It's too complicated. There's too many lights, and I don't like this. And at least the first 2 years or so, besides like the true, like I feel like the Yamaha loyalists like myself, most people were just kind of like, costs too much, it has too many buttons, too many lights, and it's too difficult. But once some time had passed, I started seeing the Montage start popping up in more places. And then of course, I believe it was 2018, maybe 19. I believe it was 19. No, it's 2018 when they dropped the they released the Montage X. And then since that was an affordable board, I started realizing that a lot of people were buying those. And I guess because it was affordable and it had so many sounds, people just got used to the layout and realized that it wasn't really that difficult. And I hope my video kind of helps some people realize, all that the Montage can do. But that's neither here nor there. So recently, I've been seeing the Montage a lot more places. Now, I can't lie, I definitely see the Nord stage the most at this point. But being that the Nord has grown so much in popularity, and in so many ways, rightfully so, I've been waiting for what Yamaha has coming next, because I feel like with them being the premier keyboard brand for so long, they should be working to try to reclaim their throne. So just like I said, just yesterday, some pictures surfaced, and I believe that it got a lot of mixed reviews. People, I believe in general, were excited that we're finally starting to get some answers, because when Yamaha said that they discontinued the Montage, they gave out the sounds, the free sounds, and then they ended it with, oh, by the way, in October something new is coming. Then that kind of sparked the excitement, like, wow, like we wonder what it is. What is it going to look like? Is it going to be a new Montage, or is it going to be a completely different name? Because I believe the Motif XF8, which is the last Motif that they released, it came out in like 2012. So there was a 4-year difference between the last Motif XF and the Montage. So people were probably expecting another version of the Motif, but they decided to go in a completely different direction. So I just wanted to share some of my thoughts. So just looking at the pictures, I was excited seeing that some pictures leaked, but the more I looked at it, I was like, this is interesting. the burgundy color or maroon color, it's definitely reminding me of what the S90 ES looks like. Now, if you follow this channel, you know I really love that board, but in 2023, I don't know. But at the same time, we don't know for sure that this is the final product. I heard a theory where someone was saying maybe this is Yamaha just putting this out there to see what the reactions are, and then they have some time to kind of work on it and, you know, make their final edits before October. I hope that could be possibly what it is, because that continues to give us the element of surprise when it finally does drop. So some things that I would like to see from the new Montage. So number one, I would like the screen to be able to be a little bit more similar to like what an iPhone is. And what I mean by that, you know how you can kind of flip up and flip through your apps and kind of swipe left, swipe right, and go through different apps. It would be nice if you could do that with, let's say, performance mode and the sequencer mode. You could just kind of flip back and forth. The second thing I'd like to see from the new Montage is at least 2 GB of RAM on the board. Now, I don't know exactly what the amount of gigabytes that the Core Chronos had, but I heard that it's far more than the 1.8 that the Montage had. Now, let me be clear. I was very, very grateful and happy to have that 1.8, because that allowed us to be able to add so many extra sounds. But, you know, as more people started to make more and more sounds, eventually I felt like I had to kind of pick and choose between, you know, did I want this sound? I'd have to take some of these sounds off. I'd have to download some to the board and take the rest of the pack off. It would be nice to just be able to have all the sounds. Now, of course, this is wishful thinking, but it's something that I would really love to see from the new Montage. I think it's possible. I don't think it's too much to ask for at least 2 gigs, right? At least two to 3 gigs. That would be really nice. The third thing that I'd like to see from the new Montage is a better flagship acoustic piano sound. Now, hear me out. I know a lot of people love the CFX Grand sound, and I think I liked it at first, but over time, I just feel like it could be better. It works. It definitely cuts through the mix. It has a bright tone, but like the actual tone of it sometimes kind of sounds, you know, not as realistic as I think it can. And being that Yamaha makes grand pianos, I still believe that there's a better acoustic piano sound that they can give us. The reason why I say that, because there are VST companies like Keyscape and Key Suite that have Yamaha C7 samples that sound better than the CFX or Yamaha's C7 sound that's on the Montage and the CP88 and YC88. So those are good sounds, but I think they can be even more improved. Now, my suggestion, I really do like the Hamburg Grand sound that's on the YC88 and the CP88. And I think with a little couple tweaks and, you know, different variations like they did with the CFX, that would be a nice piano sound to be the flagship for the keyboard. And even if it's not the flagship, I just really want to see the Hamburg Grand on there. I was hoping that with the free pianos that they gave us with the Nashville C3 and the Felt Grand, I was hoping they'd give us the Hamburg Grand as well. But I hope that they put that on the new board, whether it's the flagship or not. All right. So I think that would make a big difference, because right now, if we're being honest, Nord is killing the game because their piano sounds, they have so many different versions of their pianos, and they're very, very realistic. And if we're comparing them, I think Yamaha can do a better job, especially once again, seeing that they make grand pianos. So I think that they can really tap in and come out with something really amazing, because I love competition. I think Yamaha is still the best overall brand, but you know, the popularity wars are starting to go in a slightly different direction. So I'm excited for this new Yamaha Montage to see how, you know, Yamaha makes their statement. The fourth thing that I'd like to see from the new Montage is better effects for the piano sounds. Like if you once again look at the Nord, they have a lot of different effects that you can use, like reverb and delay and stuff like that for CCM songs. And Montage does have some good edits, but I think if they added to that, it would kind of win back some people that have already, you know, crossed over to the other side. And you know, there's a lot that the board can do, but I feel like it can do even more. And especially since it's been 7 years, I'm highly anticipating what new edits they've added to their new keyboard. The fifth thing that I'd like to see from the new Yamaha Montage is the ability to use the USB and MIDI at the same time. So I love the fact that the Montage that's current had the ability to have an internal interface where you didn't have to have an audio interface in order to run sounds from your laptop, like whatever VSTs that you wanted to use, and you could run them directly through the Montage, and you can combine them with sounds that are already on the Montage. I still love that feature. I still use it all the time, and it would be even better if you can use the USB port as well as the MIDI port at the same time. That would be really amazing. The number 6 thing that I'd like to see from the new Montage is some of the classic Motif and Motif ES8 sounds return. Now, I love that the Montage had pretty much all of the Motif XF8 sounds, and I think that was a incredible decision by Yamaha to include those, because you know they had great new sounds, but they also stayed true to the most recent board before this one, which was the XF8. But if you are really familiar with Yamaha keyboards like I am, you realize that the Yamaha ES8 is so highly acclaimed because it has so many unique sounds, like so many sounds that you can't find anywhere else. Like just thinking of synth brass sounds like the Big Squish, and they had another sound, Profi, and there's so many different sounds that were strictly on the ES8. They had a piano sound called the Home Grand, and if you just go through the pads and the synth leads, there's so many different sounds that are only on the ES8, but they weren't on the Montage or the XF8. So if they could bring some of those sounds back, that would be amazing. I wish I could think of more right now, so you know, just in case someone with some influence watches this, they can make that happen. But I'd also love to see the Power Grand on the Montage initially as a stock sound. The Power Grand is from the Motif classes. I'm sure Yamaha probably thinks that sound is so outdated because they were using it way back in like the year 2000 and probably before in some of their digital pianos. But as I always say, the Power Grand still has its power. It's amazing. It's not the most realistic piano sound in the world, but it just works because it cuts through and it has a certain tone that just works. I can't explain why, but I love it. And I of course was able to put it on to the board through different expansions, but there's nothing like the actual sound straight from Yamaha. So please include that, as well as the full grand sound from the ES8. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say it's the same thing, but no, the full grand is slightly different from the full concert grand. If you have an ear for that type of thing, the full grand, it just has a fuller, a stronger sound, I feel like. I might be asking for much. I love that the S700 grand is on the Montage. I'd love if they put like the natural S and the elegant S from the Yamaha S90 ES on there. That would be amazing as well. And I don't think that should be too hard. It's Yamaha. This is their sound. It's not like they got to get it from anywhere else. Now, if they wanted to go, license the MKS EP2 sound from Roland, that would change the game. But that might be a little much. And the 7th thing that I'd like to see on the new Montage is better polyphony than the original Montage. Now, don't get me wrong, the polyphony on the Montage is good, but I think it can be even better. And the reason why I think so is because there's a keyboard called the Decibel that has unlimited polyphony. I don't know how they did it, but obviously if they did it, it must be possible. So I think that Yamaha should take whatever measures they need to, because that would set them, in a class all by themselves, including all the other great features. I think that would be amazing. So all in all, I'm very excited, as you can tell from the new Montage. Just based off the pictures alone, it looks like they actually are going to have wooden keys similar to the CP88 and the YC88. So that's going to be very interesting because I really love those key beds. So, and I like the Montage key bed now too, but if they're going to go the wooden key route, that's going to be very interesting. Some people are going to love it. Some people are going to say that it's too difficult to play. So we'll see, but I'm looking forward to this Montage really changing the game. Yamaha, You know I love you and I believe in y'all. Y'all can do this. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll catch y'all next time.